million agreement has been reached between the aid agencies, the Qatar Red Crescent and the UN Agency for Palestinians, UNRWA, with the Qatari State Development Fund. Well, let's get the latest on this. Tamara Alrifai is UNRWA's Director of External Communications, joining us live from Jordan. Just explain to us, if you can, what the situation is with these workers and patients. How did they end up in the occupied West Bank?
Since Israel imposed a blockade on Gaza in 2007, the movement for people in Gaza, in and out of Gaza, has been extremely restricted, except for those who managed to obtain permits from Israel to go and work in Israel. So they can work in the IT hubs, they can work in restaurants, they can repair cars, they can have many jobs. And it was estimated that around 18,000, a bit over 18,000 Gazans, people from Gaza, worked in Israel before the 7th of October. And about a few hundreds were seeking medical treatment outside of the Gaza Strip. Now, these are the ones that were stranded when the war in Gaza started and all crossings closed. Of these Gazans, Israel expelled onto the West Bank around 4,000 or a bit more than 4,000 Gazans who neither are working in Israel anymore, nor can they return to their families in Gaza. They're literally stranded in the West Bank.
So while they're effectively, as you describe it, stranded in the occupied West Bank, what does that mean for them? What kind of conditions do they find themselves in? Do they have somewhere to live even?
Extremely anxious. Not only are they separated from their family when this devastating war is happening and they can watch live on TV the destruction of their own neighborhoods and the death of their own friends and family, but also for those that were expelled from Israel and no longer have the possibility to work there, they've also lost their income. So they're very uncertain, they're very anxious. Some of them may have found a place to stay with friends maybe or with family, but in general, they are just as uncertain as every other Gazan waiting for this war to end and be reunited with those they love, their families, if those have survived.
So we understand that an agreement has been reached, a $4.5 million agreement between a Qatari fund, your agency, UNRWA, and also the Qatari Red Crescent. What does this mean then for those people that you describe?
The state of Qatar took note of that category of Gazans who were not covered by funding to the humanitarian response inside Gaza. So the Qatari government gave UNRWA, the UN Agency for Palestine Refugees, the agency I represent, which incidentally or not is the largest aid agency in Gaza. Qatar gave UNRWA $4.5 million specifically to be able to help these Gazans who are stranded for a few months. So it is a replacement to their income for a few months until it is clearer, until the situation settles one way or another, hopefully for the better for all, for the hostages and for the people in Gaza. And these people can either find work again or they can return to Gaza. And it's important to note that Qatar has been extremely supportive to the humanitarian response in Gaza, extremely supportive to UNRWA, but so have been many countries, many Arab countries, the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Kuwait, Djibouti, Algeria, Iraq, and many, many individuals around the world. This is a moment of truth about what UNRWA is. UNRWA is the largest humanitarian agency in Gaza, and currently we're even vaccinating children against polio. So it's really an agency that's doing it all, from the shelters to the psychological support to food distribution to polio vaccination. And that is what Qatar and many other countries have seen. They've seen us in action over the last 11 devastating months.
Tamara Alrifai, UNRWA's Director of External Communications, thanks so much for bringing us up to date on that deal and the situation on the ground in Gaza. Thank you.